Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anya and this is a very late Project Pan update. It's not actually very late. It was originally pushed back because I wasn't able to put last month's update up on time. I have a puppy here. You might see her pop up. And then I wanted this video up yesterday, but I've been sick all week so I haven't had any opportunity to film. So I'm doing it today and I'm going to put it up next week, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. This month has been something. If I were to get this video up when I originally planned it, without any of the technical difficulties I had with last one, I wouldn't have finished anything. Or I would have finished one item or maybe two from last month's. What are you doing? If I were to film this to have the video up yesterday, I would have finished 3, but I've finished. I now need to learn to count before I start saying things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, which I think is pretty good. I finished the Revlon Photo Ready Perfecting Primer. This one I knew was going to go. This is one that I almost, I'm just going to close the door, put in last month's empties and I had just rotated it in because I could barely get anything out of this. But I decided to work on it for some more time, and the way I found to get this to work was I had to rotate this whole thing, the whole cap thing, because that rotated the tube inside, and so I could like get it to the areas where there were product. I can't access the inside because there are still heaps of product left in here without breaking this or myself, so I'm not going to. But I can't get anything more out of this without spending 20 minutes pumping it, so it's gone. I really love the primer, but I have found other primers in my collection that do the same thing and that are not tested on animals. I also finished my lip gloss. This was the Tanya Bear Lip Gloss in Ice Queen. There is a tiny bit stuck at the bottom that I can't access at all. This was okay. I don't really love lip gloss, so I did my hardest to try and finish it and it wasn't too bad. I finished the Remote Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Concealer in Light Ivory. This still has product in it, but I can't pump this out without injuring myself, so I'm calling it done. But it's a tiny bit left just here. I can actually like fold this over completely. I just can't get any more out of this and I don't like this, so I'm happy to be done with it. I also finished this one, which is the tiny COLOURPOP Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Strip, and I was not expecting that to be done. I can still get like enough for a swatch on here, but you won't be able to see this, but there is barely anything. I can see through the tube, so that is done. I also, I think it was yesterday or the day before, sharpened this, which is the Rimmel Scandalise one, and this had, the upper part of it was loose, so I had come to the end of that, and then there were more products towards the bottom, so I just sharpened until I got to that. And that part is all crumbly and messy, and it crumbles if I put any pressure on it, so this is done. And it was fine. I'm not the biggest cream shadow stick person. I used to be very much fond of them, but I'm not anymore, so it was just fine to use up. And today I finished the Makeup Mecca the Brow Wow pencil in Blonde. This had 1.5 eyebrows, or it had 3 eyebrows, which is 1.5 use left. But I was able to finish it because I had to redo this eyebrow. It still doesn't look that great, but I finished it and that's fine. And those are the ones I finished, which I was quite surprised by. But that brings my total finished products from this whole Project Pan to 24. It's a Project 50 pan. I have rotated in, I think, 81 before this update, and I finished 24, so I'm nearly halfway there with my goal of 50, and I think I will be able to do that and hopefully some more as well. Then I have a chunk of products in front of me with progress on them. This is one that I don't think you have seen since the intro. This is the Kicks Loose powder. There is a tan colour there, you may be able to see that. That's where I'm at, and which is painted directly below the white mark that you might be able to see, and also kind of painted on top of it because my hand isn't that steady. But I made some progress on this and that makes me happy because I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I want to use it up anyway. I have Progress on my Moods of Norway perfume. I am making steady progress. So I started the bottle full and I was at the sparkly mark last time, and I'm at that rosy tan nude brown thing below it. I like the perfume a lot, so I'm just going to be happy to use it, but I broke this in Sweden like 3 weeks ago, where I knocked the bottle on the floor, and you might be able to see there is no plastic tube going in from here down to the bottle, because that is lying right there. It fell out and I can't get in there to fix it. So the way I use this is I turn it upside down and it works fine. So I'm just going to keep using it like that until I can't access any more product. I have a tiny bit of progress on my setting spray. This is the Jan Thomas Studio Cosmetic Makeup Fixing Spray. I have a lot of lines there. I am at the bottom line, which is just below the sparkly one last time. I'm making slow but steady progress on this, and that makes me happy, but it's gonna take some work for me if I want to finish this, but I'm gonna try. I have progress on my OGX coconut water, which is something you spray into your hair. It's not a whole lot, but it's a little bit. I am at the bottom line there, and I was at sparkly one above it last time, which you can see quite well there, and the red one when I started. I don't wash my hair very often. I try to do it once a week, but it sometimes goes to every other week, so I don't use it a whole lot, but slow and steady progress is still progress. And then I have this that I wanted to finish so badly. This is the SMashBox Primer Water, and you can see there is next to nothing. It's next to nothing in here, which the line at the bottom there confirms. I made a good chunk of progress. So close to finishing this, but it's going to be gone next month. Technically this is May. I'm filming it in May, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of time in May to use some products up. It's going to be a little bit of like a time crunch, but I have a couple of items that are very close to being finished. So they're going to be, this is one of them, and they're going to be gone before next update. I'm making slow and steady progress on this clear brow gel from Wet n Wild. I don't like this as a brow gel. It doesn't hold anything. I'm using it as like a primer for eyebrow products. So I just brush this through my brow hairs whenever, pretty much. And I'm planning on having this run until June, the end of June, so it's going to be 6 months. Technically a year since I opened it, give or take, if it wants to run that far. But I'm making slow and steady progress, and that makes me happy. This is another one I wanted to finish. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. And you can see that this actually broke on me 2 or 3 days after filming last month's update. And I was like, okay, that's going to be good, because that's going to mean I'm going to be able to finish it faster. And then it caught up with me that we were going away for the entire week. We had Easter holidays off. My sister had Easter holidays off. And I couldn't bring this because the bits would go absolutely everywhere. But I made some progress on this at home, and there used to be a couple more chunks in this earlier today, but my dog fell down on it from my lap, which is not a long drop at all. But the chunks ended up flying, and these were the ones that I was able to put back in here. This is one that's going to be easily gone for next month. I actually also hit pan on the NYX No Filter powder, and I was not expecting that, but I have pan in the centre. At first I thought it was kind of hollow below it, because there was a chunk that kind of fell down into it when I first hit pan, because I wasn't expecting to hit pan on this that quickly. But the pan has expanded and I'm really happy with it. This has been one that I've used a lot this month, because I've been enjoying a no foundation, no concealer makeup look. And the way I achieve that is I do the colour correctors that I have, and then I just use this all over my face, because this has a tiny bit of coverage. And this has a luminous or a little bit of a sheeny finish. I also sometimes do it with the Rimmel powder that has more of a matte finish on me, but I really enjoy this for the little bit of coverage that it gives without making my skin look strange. I then have the duo that has been on my cheeks a lot this month. You can see the blush is strong today, and that is the Milani Baked Blush in Bella Rosa. Looking at it straight, you can't actually see progress, but you might be able to see that the dome is a little bit flat on the top, and that makes me happy. I doubt I'll be able to finish this year because it's just so strong. It's too strong. I hope to hit pan on this, and then spend the next year using it. But the way I apply it is I grab a blush brush. Can't speak properly today. I grab a blush brush, which for me is a whole range of different brushes that fits my cheek quite nicely. Currently I'm using a Real Techniques Blush Crush one. I don't actually know the name of this. The number will be on screen. Swirl that in the pan. Dab off at least 3/4 of the product on the back of my hand. My hand looks bright pink. I like that. And then put that onto my cheekbones. And I put it quite high. So I put it kind of where I would put my highlighter. And then I go over it with the Hourglass colour in Radiant Light from the palette. I am almost done with this colour. I have made some progress from last month. That is a very cool toned pink, and the Radiant Light one is a very warm toned light peachy colour. And when I put it over the top, it gives a beautiful Lucy! It gives a beautiful golden sheen to the skin, but it also tones down the cool tonedness. Is that a word? The coolness of the blush and makes it a tiny bit more peachy. Another way I have found that to look good is using the bronzer from this palette or from my Isadora palette, but I tend to go in with, sorry for the glare there, this bronzer which I've hit Baby Pan on, which is just because of how I use it, but it's progress. I will use that on my skin before I go in with powder quite heavily, because the powder tends to cover some of it up because I want some of it to be visible. And then I will put the blush over the top, and because of the warmth of the bronzer, it will tone down the coolness of the blush, which is one of the things I'm not that fond of. It's a bit too cool toned pink for me, and it would make it a little bit more peach-ish, and it just suits me much better. And then I will pop a warm tone highlighter over the top, and that's just been the way I've been using that. And I've been using that bronzer quite a lot, which is why it's in here, because I have hit pan on this a tiny bit. I've been going ham with this, putting it on before I use the NYX powder. It looks like I have dipped my face in chocolate. It's a very strong warm tone to it, you can see there. And that is about the strength I apply it to my cheekbones and forehead, nose and chin when I use it. It looks very strange before I go in with the powder, because I know the powder has some coverage and I want this to show through the powder. So I apply it very heavily. I would not apply it heavily if I weren't going to put a powder or foundation over the top. And it just shows through as a natural light bronzy colour, and I really enjoy it. So those are some products that I've been able to sort of sandwich together this month. I have also made heaps of progress on my Bobbi Brown corrector, which you will be able to see in the pictures. I haven't taken them yet. I've pulled all of the product into the centre of the pan. It was just a rim around it. I pulled all of it into the centre and used at least half, if not 2/3 of what was left. So I have just a tiny bit of product left, and this is also one I'm expecting to be gone in May. I really enjoy it. It's a beautiful tone for me and for how pale I am, so I'm gonna miss it when I run out of it, but I'm gonna enjoy it while I have it. And it's old, so it needs to be used up soon. My other colour corrector I am also making steady progress on. I am down here and I was up here, so I've made a good chunk of progress. I've been loving using this and nothing else on my skin if I want something supernatural, because it works. I am fairly certain I've been using colour correctors wrong in the past, especially the green one, because you don't need a lot and it neutralises redness without making me look green. So I've been enjoying that one. I don't think I would repurchase a green colour corrector. I might, because my preferences with base makeup has changed a little bit, I've noticed. I used to be very fond of full coverage foundation, and for that I wouldn't need a product like this. But recently I've been into more light coverage or no base product at all, and that's where those types of products come in handy for me, especially because I have a lot of redness in my skin. But I already have, I think, 3 or 4 other green colour correctors, so I don't need to buy one, at least not anytime soon. But I'm making progress and that makes me happy. I made progress on my Maybelline Master Strobing Stick. I made a lot more progress than I expected, and part of that is because I haven't been wearing a lot of base makeup, so I've been wearing this a lot, and I've even found a way to use this That's the reflectiveness, so it's gorgeous on the skin. Wearing this when I'm wearing a powder or a powder foundation, I just apply this liberally to a sponge and then just stamp that on my cheek and it looks gorgeous. I'm actually tempted to say I might be able to finish this year, and I didn't think that was going to be possible looking at it because it was full, but I at least have a chance. So I'm going to keep working on it. I made progress on my Maybelline Baby Lips. I wanted to be done with this, but I lost this. In the I think it was first weekend of April, maybe, we went to our cabin and I lost this and I left it there because I couldn't find it when I got home. And then we went back for Easter and it took days to remember to actually look for it again because I'm forgetful, and I found this between the sofa cushions, so you know it's very me to lose things. But I made some progress on this and I'm hoping for this to be done by next month. If not, I'm just going to keep working on it. It's not the best lip balm and I don't like the colour of this. It's very light pink, very cool toned pink, which isn't my thing, but as a lip balm it works fine. I have two primers here. This I have marked, which I'm surprised I was able to mark it there because I only lost a gram of this from the scale. I've weighed this right before filming, so I think that's partly an air bubble, partly product, but I don't like this primer all that much. It doesn't work that well underneath foundation for me because it just accentuates dry spots. But I've been wearing this on a couple of those days where I haven't worn foundation, which works great for giving some glow. But I don't think I'm going to have issues using that up. This I actually haven't been able to mark, but I think it was 5 grams, give or take. I've used this a couple of times. I saw some progress on the scale and I like this primer a lot, so I'm just going to keep using them. I have 3 products here. I have the Maybelline Master Conceal Camouflaging Concealer in Fair. I used up a gram of this, which is progress. I haven't used it a whole lot, but progress is progress. I've used a gram of the Makeup Mecca Easy Peasy Brow Gel. I like this one a lot. The colour suits me very well. The hold isn't the best I have tried. And saying that, I don't actually know what the best I've tried is because I fluctuate through brow products a lot. But it's good enough for me to be able to use this as the final step in my brows. And I really enjoy the product, and it says it has 9 grams in it. Now I haven't used a whole lot of this. I might have used a gram, maybe 2 before we started, so you're going to see how quickly or slowly that lasts. And then I have the Lancome Doll Eyes Hypnose Doll Eyes mascara. I don't love this. This works great on my lower lashes. It's what I have on them today. It's very dry, so that leads me to think I have opened this in the past. I just can't remember when. This and the Max Factor one feel very dry when I apply them. I don't think they're going to last a whole lot longer than maybe a month or 2. But I've used a gram of this, so I've made some progress. But I wouldn't be surprised if they end up in next month's empties or next month's update. I have a tiny bit of progress on my eyeshadow primer. This is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, the original one. I like this quite a lot, both as an eyeshadow primer as well as using it to prime my under eye area before product because it smooths out the lines that I have there. So I've been enjoying that a lot. I have a tiny bit of progress on my Milani Shadow Eyes in Almond Cream. I forgot to put this on my waterline before filming. That's mainly how I've been using this, but now that the Rimmel eyeshadow stick is done, this is one that I'm going to start putting on the lids, especially for looks like this that are very neutral and mostly matte, because it is a good product for brightening, at least on my skin tone. It's very close to my skin tone, so it works great for a base. But looking at the progress, I don't think I'll be able to finish this, but I'm going to keep working at it and we're going to see where I end up. I have some progress on the Kat Von D lip liner in Saint. It's on my lips. Not the biggest fan of this colour. It's a little bit too pink for me, but I don't hate it as much as I thought I would at first, because the first time I wore this I did not like it, but it's kind of growing on me, so I'm just going to keep using this until it's gone. I don't love this, but I made progress and that makes me happy. I might be able to finish this next month, I'm not sure. Let's see. I have a tiny bit of progress on my Isadora Face Sculptor. You're not going to see anything in the blush. It's mainly the bronzer. I made the pan a tiny bit bigger, not by a whole lot. And then with this highlighter I've been working in this area up here and I have made some progress. I like the bronzer. It's a tad too warm for me when I'm at my palest, so now that I've been getting a little bit of sun over Easter, I don't really get a lot of sun. The colour looks better and I've been wearing this as well along with the Milani blush when I'm not wearing the cream bronzer, and it works fine, so I don't think I'm gonna have issues finishing the highlighter. Might be able to finish the bronzer, and I'm hoping to hit pan on the blush, or at least make a dent. But it was ambitious trying to do 3 blushes in a year. I have some progress on the Clinique Chubby Stick in Heftiest Hibiscus. I love that colour. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous orange that almost looks a bit red, and it's just stunning. I was contemplating wearing this for this video, but it was a bit too much with how strong the blush was. But I've worn this month and I love the colour. And I actually think the progress, which isn't a whole lot, it's a tiny bit, came from wearing it once or twice. And that gives me hope that I might be able to finish that when I start reaching for this more. Which will hopefully be this month and on to through the rest of the year. I can't speak properly today. I've progressed on my Lush mask of Magnum-Minty, and I forgot an item that I can't be asked to get up and get, which is the Korres eye mask. I will put a picture up on screen. I've been wearing and masking more this month than I have previously, so I've made good progress on this gram wise, but I also see a change in the tub there. There's not a whole lot in here anymore. The honey still annoys me because it gets absolutely everywhere, but the mask is amazing and my skin loves this, so I'm gonna keep working with it. I have a puppy in here again. And my last items are eyeshadows. I have the Walking on Eggshells trio, where the majority of the progress isn't going to be all that visible on camera, but hopefully you're going to be able to see in the picture that the top pan here is nearly empty in this area right here. Middle pan is bigger, this bottom pan is also bigger, and my goal for this month is essentially clean out half of that, try and clean out a good chunk of this area of that, and make that pan bigger, and I actually see myself being able to finish at least 2 or 3 shades in here. And then I have this, which is the L'Oreal Colouroupop L'Ombre Pure Gel Infused Eyeshadow. I can't read French, I'm sorry, in Macron Vanille, which is a light peachy beige. I'm making a dip in this. You might be able to see the colour there. It's a tiny bit darker than my skin tone, but you're not going to be able to see all that well on camera. I have a dip in the centre. I don't think I'm going to hit pan on this next month, maybe the month after, or depending on how much I use it, I might actually be able to hit pan. This has an interesting texture. I've been using this mainly with a brush in the past, but and it's looked almost strange because it looks like there is bits in here that are sort of just stuck together, which become more pronounced when I use the brush. But today I swirled my finger in to just swipe it all over the lid because it's going to be faster, and it kind of just made everything come together smoothly, which sounds a bit strange. The consistency of this isn't super powdery, which kind of makes sense considering it's a gel infused eyeshadow. It has almost a little bit of, I don't know how to explain it. It's not super creamy. It's kind of like a half dried out ColourPop Super Shock shadow in a matte formula, where you can feel that it has a little bit of creaminess to it, but it isn't like a cream shadow. But I've been getting some use out of this on my lid, which is what is on my eyelid mainly today, as well as just applying this all over the lid to set my concealer and eyeshadow base before putting on eyeshadow, and I'm making progress, so that is good. I was contemplating not actually rotating in any items this month because I have 81, 24 of them are finished, but I've rotated in 81 so far, and I have a good chunk of items that I'm still working on. I have 2 items in here that are drying out, and I want to try and use them up, or use up as much of them before they dry out, and those are the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick in Stepping Out and the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Cornelius. And I tried to pan Cornelius last year and wasn't fully successful before the year was up, but I have baby pan on this in the centre there, and this just feels drier than my other ColourPop shadows, so I want to see how much of this I can actually pan. It is probably my all-time favourite matte eyeshadow. I love this, and I just want to see how much I can use up before it actually becomes unusable. This is a very close colour to the Kat Von D shade already in the project. The formulas are a little bit different. You can see that one on the bottom there. And I really enjoy the formula and the colour, but this is drying out. I recently had to toss the other shade of this that I had, which was in Boss. which is a gorgeous red shade. Because it was so dry it was unusable, so I want to try and finish or use as much of this as I can before it dries up completely. And then I have a body lotion. I haven't actually rotated in a body lotion in the past. This is the Korres Basil Lemon Body Milk, and I have marked it there. You can see the brown line there. This is a 200ml bottle. I have a lot of body lotion for a person who doesn't wear a lot of body lotion, so I need to use them up, and I think the easiest way for me to be reminded to keep using them is going to be to have them in my project pan. So I'm going to start with this because this is my current favourite. I love this, and one I've had for a while. This smells heavenly, so I want to try and finish that, and then I'm going to keep rotating in until I'm out, because I don't wear a lot of body lotion. I don't really love applying them. My body skin is very dry, so I definitely think it needs some moisture. I just don't think I've found the right one yet, because it is also very sensitive to fragrance, and a lot of body lotions have fragrance in them, and I also don't like those that are so thick that you feel sticky. So I'm kind of like still looking for the right one. This is probably the closest one right now, but it has a 6-month shelf life. It's been open for more than that, so I want to try and pan that. I have another product that is very, very old, and this is the e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator in the original one. I think I've had this for 2 years, maybe 3. It looks grubby, disgusting. It's still usable, it still works. I recently used this and had no issues with it, but lip exfoliator is an item that I don't really reach for, and I have 2. So I just decided to start with the oldest, which is the e.l.f. one, and I'm going to work my way through them and probably not repurchase one, because it's just a step I don't really find necessary for me. So it's okay as a lip scrub if you like lip scrubs. This is actually quite good, and it's relatively cheap as well. I think it's worth checking out if you're interested. For me, it's just not a step that I need. I have 3 more items. All of them are eye products. I have a ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in Mr. Bing, which is a gorgeous warm brown, and the reason for me rotating this in is 1, because this is getting old and dry, it's that colour there, but also because I have 2 and I don't need 2, and both of them are open. So I took this, which has this cap on it, because I think I tried panning it last year, didn't finish it, and then put it back in the drawer, and it's getting really dry, so I want to try and use that up before it becomes unusable. And then I have 2 more eyeshadow sticks, and I think I have 1 more when I finish these 2, which will probably also end up in this project at some point. These I've had for a year and a bit, and I haven't touched them, so I want to try and pan them. These are both from Tanya Burr. They were from her Christmas collection in 2017, I think. I purchased them when I was in London, and the shades are Sweet Sugar, which is like a champagne colour. It's there, very close to my skin tone and reflective. And then I have the shade Melt My Heart, which is more of a warm, darker brown. It's a gorgeous shade. It's a tiny bit darker than the Rimmel one that I finished, and it's more warm toned. But I want to try and pan these because I haven't used them in a year. More than that, I haven't actually used these on my eyes since I bought them. Cream shadow sticks are just not something that I reach for. For cream shadows, I have 4 formulas that I really enjoy. ColourPop Super Shocks, Still Glitter and Glows. I recently bought 2 of the ColourPop Jelly shadows as well from the Villains collection, and I'm in love. So that's the formula that I like. And then I have Makeup Mecca has something that is similar to the Stila ones that are really good, as well as some that I don't really know how to describe them. They're cream shadows and they are amazing. So those are the ones that I enjoy, and they are either in pot form or you apply them with like a doe foot. I'm not a big fan of sticks, so I'm going to try and use those up. I mean, I'm not necessarily making it easy for myself. I'm adding in a lot of items, but I think with just looking through my entire beauty collection and looking at the items that I don't reach for in those categories that I have a lot of that I don't really reach for all that much, and trying to narrow those down to 0 if possible if I don't use them, is the way for me to go, because I want to use up ideally something from every single category in my collection. It's gonna take some time and some work, but I am really enjoying project panning, and I've been putting up updates and pictures and stuff on Instagram, which is Anya PMF, if you want to check it out. And I really enjoy this. I just hope that, I don't know, I won't be disappointed with those items as I won't finish, because there are a couple that I don't think I'll finish, the blush being one of them. But I'm gonna keep working with what I'm doing, and I'm happy seeing progress. I'm almost halfway with my original goal of 50, and we're only just starting May. So I am ahead of schedule, which I think is going to be good, because I think I have some items that are going to take a while. I have some that are going to be gone relatively quickly, but the ones that are going to take a while, they are the ones that are kind of making me a little bit stressed, because there's nothing I can do to make them go faster other than using them, and I can't use them too much because otherwise I look ridiculous when wearing them. But thank you so much for watching this update, and I will see you again soon. Bye!